What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Normally I do most of my sanding outside of the shop, but lately we've had some rainy days, so I've been trying to come up with a solution for sanding indoors without all of the dust. I did some research online and came up with a fast and easy build solution called a downdraft table. Does it really work? Stick around and find out. I'll show you my take on it and how I built it. As an added bonus, it's built completely from reclaimed wood and it costs literally nothing to make. So let's get started. I start by heading over to the miter saw to cut all of the frame pieces down to size. Since these are from reclaimed pallets, I try to cut off any cracks or nail holes whenever possible. The box will need to be airtight, so any that I can't cut off at this time, I'll be sure to plug later. After cutting was complete, I gave each piece a good sanding to clean up the old surface and to inspect them for any cracks or breaks that I may have missed while cutting. Some of the pieces have nail holes toward the center, so since I have dowel rod laying around, I'll just drill the holes out to fit the dowel and then cut and glue them in place. Next, I assemble the frame using wood glue and brad nails, just to hold everything in place until I could come back with screws for a stronger joint. Once I check for square, I secure the pieces together. Moving around to each corner, I just repeat what I did on the previous, making sure I'm staying in square and that the pieces make good contact with each other. It's important to check square often so your top and bottom pieces fit perfectly. The glue and brad nails hold pretty strong. Now since I will be storing this after every use, I want to make sure it was strong enough to be moving around without becoming loose and unstable. Before moving on, I checked my measurement to be sure that it's still 24 by 24 inches. Now using my quick flip by Craig, I drill and countersink some holes in the corners for extra stability. Then I run in a number 8 by 1 inch and a quarter wood screw. The quick flip's a nice tool to have for projects like these, and I'll drop a link in the description for those of you that are interested in purchasing one for yourself. Don't over tighten the screws here, or it could cause the wood to split or to move out of square. Take your time and move around to each corner, installing the rest of the screws, making sure they are tight but not too tight. For the top, I measured and cut a piece of reclaimed pegboard on the table saw. This will give me plenty of airflow for the dust to drop down and be collected. As stated before, the top and bottom both will be 24 inches by 24 inches. Then I cut a piece of 1/4 inch laminate to create the internal baffle. This helps direct suction where I need it, and also since it will be slanted, the vibration will help keep the dust going to where it needs to go. Since my sides are a 1/2 inch thick, my piece needed to be 24 by 23 inches, and it fit like a glove. Now I flip it over, and using some scrap strips I cut at random sizes, I mount them down to help keep the baffle in place. This will prevent it from sagging down or moving as the orbital sander vibrates on top. I secure the strips in place with wood glue and brad nails. Another quick turn and I mount a strip to the other side under the baffle. I'm not sure this is needed, but I threw in a cross piece to keep the top from sagging or breaking if I bear down too hard while sanding on another piece. I could see it being very easy to break through since it's only pegboard that is being used for a sanding surface. I position in the center of the box and I secure it in place with wood glue and brad nails. To make sure everything is tight around the baffle and sidewalls, I sealed up any cracks or gaps were caught. Now using a 2.5-inch hole saw, I drilled a hole for the vacuum adapter to mount over. It's a little wobbly and the hole saw I had sucked, but I managed to get it through there cleanly and without damaging myself or the project. Using a small drill bit for a pilot hole and a 3/8-inch drill bit for a countersink, I attached the pegboard to the top using a number 8 by 1 1/4 wood screw. I decided not to nail it down so I can easily remove the top if I ever need to, in case something gets down in there. I put in a few screws as holders, then I drilled the rest of the holes before removing the countersink in them as well. Countersinking the screws will ensure I have complete flat surface and they won't scratch whatever project I'm working on. Back on the table saw, I cut a solid piece for the bottom from another reclaimed pallet, and then I sealed the underside of the baffle with some more caulk before I locked it in place. Using wood glue and brad nails, I mounted the bottom down. No particular order or measurement here. I made sure the bottom fit perfectly, and I just popped the nail anywhere I thought it might need one. Probably a little bit of overkill, but I don't want to be worried later on that the bottom may fall off. For the final piece, I will be sealing and installing a vacuum port adapter. It's not a bad attachment for $2.75, and I'll drop a link to it as well in the description. I marked where my screws will go, and using a small drill bit, I made my pilot holes. Now using the same number 8 wood screws, I mounted the port in place, taking caution here and do not over tighten to avoid breaking the plastic. Now that the vacuum adapter is installed, it's time for the moment of truth. With my dust collector connected, I tried a couple different size pieces, and the dust really did seem to get pulled down into the collector box. I can finally sand indoors without the mess. I may also connect another dust line to the sander as well, just for that added protection. All in all, it really seems to be working. I will be sanding outdoors when I can, but from now on, no more weather delays in the future. Problem solved. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Please let me know in the comments if you plan to build one and post up some pics. I'd love to see it. Please remember to like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you on the next one.